When
Welcome everybody. We're live on Vapin Trucker's channel. Take it away, Vapin Trucker.
All right, y'all. So as you can see from the title, it might help some other mixers as well. But we've told everybody what flavors they should buy, and they got their PG and VG. They've been mixing other people's recipes. So I thought tonight we'd maybe try to give people some ideas on how they can go about making their own recipe. Starting off with something simple and then how to build on that. But before we get to that, who we got in chat there, Steve?
Rightio. We got everybody here on the panel. We got Robert Knight, we got Fidalgo, and that is all I see at this time.
Well, hello. We got Zippy back again. How you doing, Zippy?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
Marvelous. You been mixing this week?
Oh yes. and messing myself right up. I had to panic, and you guys helped me out with quickie recipes because I don't do shakers. So you guys helped me out. So I was mixing like crazy.
Did not to put you on the spot at all, but did you try that bourbon cream?
No, actually, that is getting filled up very shortly. But man, oh man, does that stuff smell like woo-wee! I needed a private moment.
I like it. I'll still mix that. It's one of the first recipes that I made public.
Well, I think personally it's going to be one of my favorites because just off the sniff, it's like, oh damn! It's like
right, and that bourbon flavor hangs in there, but it's not overpowering.
I can take bourbon to the moon. It doesn't bother me. So bourbon, I just love.
Me too.
Bourbon, so.
I'm from Kentucky. I love bourbon.
Me too. I'm a Jack Daniels fan. Jack and me get along real well.
Right. First time on the panel, Liam. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad. The same old. Just keeping busy with mixing and everything else. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. If anybody has ever went searching for flavor notes, find his. Anything that you want to know about a flavor, and they're so detailed. How long would you say it takes you to go through a flavor, like from start to finish?
It takes me a month to test each flavor because I test them from shake and vape, then at weekly intervals until I think that they've actually finished deep in. And then by the time I've actually handwritten my notes, I start off with like rough sketches of what notes I can taste in them. And then I actually fill them out then when I type them all up. So for each flavor, probably looking at about 5 or 6 hours work.
Yeah.
Per flavor.
That's crazy.
And word of warning, don't print them out. I did.
I did my Flavora.
I printed them all out.
You'll end up with about 600 pages.
I did.
But yeah, you got to know how to print, like front and back, and do it book style where there's 2 on each page. And
No, I cheated and did it at work.
oh, see, there you go. You're smart.
I'm not using all my ink.
Michael Morris.
Great notes though, really good notes. Because there's a lot of flavors that you know, I can use it as a reference too for some flavors that I get. So that's why I did that.
Every time I'm vaping something new, I'm trying to pick it apart, try and break it down into top, middle, bottom notes, and any individual hints of flavors, things like that.
Well, that's what I like. That's what I liked, and I also, because I don't have very many VTA flavors, I'm going to be getting some. So I really wanted those notes so I can kind of like get an idea. So those ones were really important, the vape thing.
Yeah. The one thing I do with them, they are just notes. They're not actually reviews, because I never actually wanted to review flavors, because I know where it's all so subjective. I could think a flavor is 5 out of 5, and somebody else could think it's 1.
Okay, from my point of view, I've tried your recipes, so I know kind of like when you say a percentage, I know that's where I want to be with. Yeah. So that's why I wanted your notes on the vape train. I know taste is subjective, but for me personally, I'm on the same line as you as far as percentages go, because I mean, like I said, I've tried your mixes, so that's why it was important to me.
Yeah.
You trust his taste, is what you're kind of saying.
Yeah. Like the two recipes. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say we've kind of touched on that before. If you can read somebody's notes and then taste that flavor at that percentage, and you get a similar to what they're saying, like you understand where they're coming from, then you're more apt to trust what they're saying about a flavor.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like picking. You know, we all have our favorite mixers. Okay, like we know. You know, I have my favorites that I know if they post a recipe and I look at it, I'm just going to mix it as is, because I know to me it's going to be good. I kind of, if that makes sense.
It does. What you've been doing, Tammy?
Staying out of trouble. Actually,
well, Tammy, not to interrupt you real quick, but if y'all look in the chat, the Eric Carter, that's my other half. He finally decided to come join us.
Oh, cool. Welcome.
Hey, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Tam, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. Cool. I thought you were going to ask me a cool question or tell me something cool, or it's all good.
Oh, I've got a cool question, but we'll see. Go ahead.
Oh, shit. So I just mixed up a recipe that it was my first public recipe that I published back in 2017 of March. So I was like, and it's 5 flavors. And I was like, and I had somebody tell me just a couple of months ago, a friend of mine in Canada that I talk to a lot, he still mixes it like every week. He mixes a big batch. And I'm like, okay, I've got to mix this back up and I got to see what we're talking about, because it's been 2.5 years since I mixed it. So I just remixed it because it's like an excellent starter recipe. And so I was like, I may even look at it and see how it can be remixed again.
Well, share it.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. I got to taste it too. I just
Because I'm kind of interested to see what your first posted recipe is.
Yeah, and it was cool because I had sold a mod to a girl that, and I think it was, let me find the recipe here, and it was my one of my RX 250s or something like that, and she was like 21 years old. I don't know. She was old enough to vape, and I was like, "Do you want some juice? I can mix you up something. What do you vape?" So she told me the shop juice she vaped at the local vape store, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I don't vape mix that, but let me look up the profile. And it was like just a fruity mix with cream. So I just pulled some of my favorite stuff. And she liked
That looks
it.
good.
And it was just simple, and it was, and what the juice she had was called Stoner's juice or something. So I called it Stoner's Remix. And it was blue raspberry from TFA, because that's what I had at the time. Some cream fresh for the cream, forest fruit, because I loved that stuff back then. I still do. And a little juicy lemon. Yeah, that I went at blue raspberry, cream fresh, forest fruit, juicy lemon. There you go. No, it's just 4 flavors. Yeah, I said 5.
It looks good. It looks really good.
I didn't even add sweetener, but what's interesting, I didn't even know this. I'll stop sharing now. I didn't even know this back then. The local shop that sells their local juice, they've never added sweetener to their juice they mix in the shop. And so I'm like, well, no wonder I don't like a lot of sweetener in my juice, because that's what I would buy is their shop juice. I never bought the so-called premium juice a whole lot. So when I try premium juice, I'm like, oh my God, it's so sweet. But I found out they don't add sweetener. So anyway, I'm gonna try this and see how it tastes. Because it's a good beginner mix, I think. So did we lose Mike, or is he like in trouble?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't see him.
So I'll take over. So okay. So Steve-O, what have you been up to? What have you been mixing?
Me, I had to remix up a little bit of the jacked up grape that I did. And then basically it's been the fruity circles that I last did.
That stuff's the bomb.
Thanks, Zippy.
Let me share this.
And a salted caramel milkshake, which is a little bit different, because whenever I was thinking about doing like caramel or caramel and butterscotch with like a milkshake and everything, I figured, why not? Let's just be a little different and throw the Flavor West salted caramel with the milkshake. And I've gotten good reviews back on that one. And people said, yeah, they really liked it. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, that fruit circles and the jacked up grape are just 2 of my all day vape rotation. And
well, you know, so I'm going to tell you, I needed. I was doing my Kylan M's, and I was actually vaping them for a short time, but I was using my 6 milligram, my 6 milligram mixes, and I kept getting sick and sick. So all of a sudden, I realized I'm getting Nick sick. So I got the gang. Please help me quick, because I need some, because I don't make shake and vape recipes. Okay, nothing I make is going to be ready in a week. So Mike says, well, make Steve-O's jacked up grape. And I thought, oh yeah. So I made it up, and I made up the fruity
Quick
circles.
custard with. I'm sorry, I'm taking over for you, but I remember what you did.
And I made the
custard, but you added all holy grail.
Yeah, I made that. I made the jacked up grape. I made the fruity circles. I made Mike's bourbon. and I made all 60 mils, and now I can't get the stupid tanks to work.
Oh no.
Last night I was sitting there. I rebuilt those things about 5 times, and at the end of the night I was just about to chuck them across the room, and I thought, oh my God, what is with these things? So now I've got all those juices in 3 milligrams, and if I try to vape them now, I'm going to be craving nicotine like a cigarette.
So why are they not working? Are they leaking?
No, it's a wicking issue. I got it. A guy in Addicts told me to watch. What's his name? Anyway, watch his video. And I did watch the video, but he was using those shoelace things, and I can't get. I'm gonna have to get some shoelace things. Yes.
Yeah, like cotton thread. Yeah, look at it.
Yeah.
We're both like.
Yeah, because I tried to use. Yeah.
For me, with one hand wicking, these were like a life changer, an absolute life changer, because I don't have to worry about getting the right. You don't have to. There's no guesswork to it. It's right there.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. The problem is that I'm trying to use cotton bacon to get the wick through, and and every time. Oh, I had the one tank going all night until I ran out of juice, and I had to change it again, and that was the end of that. So I got 1 tank or 3 tankfuls out of one Kylan, and that was the end of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some of those shoelace cotton, and I'm gonna. I went through so many coils. I got to get more coils now.
For the mesh
that's the end of my
tanks,
sob story. Yeah,
I'm still stuck on Muji.
Oh,
Muji's?
Just cutting your
Yeah, what I found with those
I have a big old bag over here.
With those mesh tanks.
I got Muji.
What I do with the Muji is you know where you cut off like a 3 millimeter strip to go into a normal coil?
Yeah.
I do, I cut off a 3 millimeter strip to go into a normal coil. I take that 3 millimeter strip, I put it to one side. The rest of the Muji then gets rolled up and shoved into the mesh.
Okay, you know what? You do one, you make a video for me, because I got Muji coming out my patootie.
Yeah, I've got a Kylan M here as well.
Okay, later on, just make me a little video and let me see how you do it, because I'm going.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about you don't need this though. You need those big old tampon ones.
Yeah, that's what I use.
What's his name on the video used? What they call the other ones? Not those cotton ones. Fire something. Fire. Yeah, fire bolts or whatever they were called.
Yeah,
fire
the
something.
big, huge You need like a to go harvest the cotton field and get. Look at Steve-O's. Look at that.
Maybe I'll just go get some tampons.
That's what I was gonna say. Just spread it apart, pull a little bit. Yeah.
Great commercial for Tampax right about now, right?
Oh my
God.
We have a sponsor.
Get your Tampax.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm a dog with a bone. I'm not giving up on this shit. I am not giving up, because I know I got a taste of that tank last night, and the flavors were exploding. Not that my fused Claptons are bad, but the mesh seemed to take it up a notch. The only thing I didn't like was I really like a warm vape, and it was not a warm vape.
The Profile Unity is another good one for that as well. The flavor on that is really nice.
Well, I'm thinking I know. I cried to Steve-O about my issues. Oh well. Okay, go on. I'll But show me after, Liam.
Yeah.
Will do.
How you doing, Stalker?
Yeah, not too bad.
Welcome.
Bit of a busy week.
Yes, sir.
Finally got me chef's orders in and Rainbow Vapes. It's only been 2-3 weeks. So I had a bit of a late night trying to sort out all my flavours.
Right. Since you're the newest mixer on the panel, I wanted to ask you, when you decided that it was time to try to make your own recipe, like your own first recipe, how did you go about it?
Well, to change from shop bought to DIY, or actually make my own recipe and not copy someone else?
Make your own, like your own thing.
Well, I just like to try things, and like I love cooking, and I can't follow a recipe to start with in the kitchen because they don't make them right. It's just curiosity, maybe. Curiosity, and like you see how things go and you think, well, how can I make this a little bit different to suit my own tastes? How can I change this to suit me better, to help me? And also another hobby. It gives you something to do, keeps your brain working. But yeah, that's about it. Just to try to create. I'm not after any praise or glory or anything like that. But yeah, it's just to keep myself occupied and just try new things, because you're supposed to learn something every day. And if you just keep, like, some people are happy just on the same old, but instead of smoking the same thing day in, day out, you have something different. We used to do that with the ciggies. The same disgusting taste, day in, day out, non-stop, where you can just go and, like, have a couple of puffs on lemon meringue tart V4. Then you can slip over to whatever this one is, and then you change to this one. You can just constantly change your taste to whatever you're doing. Like when you're having a cup of coffee, lemon meringue pie and coffee is not that nice. Where coffee and like a cake or something, vape, they go together.
I never have one tank going. I always got multiples.
I'm like that. I've got about 4 sitting in front of me.
I got about 5 or 6 right here, yeah.
Well, I only brought 2 upstairs. I've got 3 more downstairs.
I've got 2 over the back there, and I've got quite a few sitting beside me. But yeah, it's just, I don't know how we did it all the time, smoking the same cigarette, but there's no flavours in those. But yeah,
it's dull.
Yeah, it's just to go and play with things, and add this, and it is a bit daunting at first with all the flavours, and you hear about all these off notes and all this sort of stuff. It gets a bit daunting, but yeah, it's just a case of play. And I keep forgetting to go and check Liam's notes. I've looked at them once before, and
oh God, you got to look at his notes.
I keep forgetting to go back to that website.
Oh, you'll be like, I gotta print them.
I've been staying off Facebook, so I keep forgetting.
You want to see something?
Oh no, I think she said she printed them out. Probably ended up with a mountain stack of paper for her.
She's gonna be like, get fired, and they're gonna say, she's gonna be like, what'd you get fired for? Oh, here it is.
I've been doing that
on the printer.
I've been doing that with recipes. I've been printing them out because I keep forgetting what I want to try.
Oh,
and
Lord.
I've just got,
look at that.
Oof. There you go, Liam. That's all your work, buddy. That's all your hard work.
Yeah, they make great bedtime reading.
You can make your own flavor Bible with everything you've done.
Flavora in here, Liam's notes, double-sided printed, so I can't imagine having it not double-sided.
Holy shit.
This is not double-sided.
Yeah, so
I think
I
it's a
think
lot
the
easier
one,
in a Word or PDF document because when you just hit Control F and it
you
goes
just
searching
click
for
that.
what
You
you
just
want.
click the table of contents, the flavor. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
well, this
on the
one alone is 115 pages.
on the table of contents, they should actually have hyperlinks, so you should just be able to click what flavor you want, and it should take you
Yeah.
straight to that page.
Oh,
Well, I find it sometimes, now this is just me, okay? I find it a pain in the butt to go looking for files on my computer or because
Yeah.
I got so many of them that this to me was easier for me. It's like, this is quick reference to me.
you're like me, Zippy.
The old school.
I hate computers. I can't do.
Well, I don't mind the computers, but I save everything. If there's a little tidbit on a note on, let's say, making something pop, or here's a base concentrate, I'm saving everything.
All the chats when they put in their what are they called, the three flavors, the triple fucking whatever it's called, or put this with this and that. Yeah, I've got them in note documents all over my desktop. It's ridiculous.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then you forget about them, and you got to go. You've got to spend 4 hours to try and go through every notepad on the desktop.
Exactly, and this document, these documents of Liam's were very important to me. So I thought, you know what? I'm not saving them somewhere. I'm printing them out. I put them in my cupboard there. If there's a new flavor that I got, now I can go and reference it. Boom, I'm done. I don't have to go.
Now you have to make sure that you laminate them.
Oh God!
Put them in plastic sleeves.
Plastic sleeves.
Plastic sleeves.
Okay, well, you guys get over here and help me then.
All right, I'll be right over. Hang on.
To answer Goose Girl in chat, coming sometime in the near future, Goose Girl, Liam's notes will be in the files section in the Mixers Helping Mixers group also.
I wanted to give a quick shout out to Dennis J.
Good as chefs, they're always there.
Thank you for the kind words there, Dennis. I greatly appreciate that, and I just wanted to thank everybody that supports me and does my mixes, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Tammy, where did you say that she can find them now?
They're always in Chefs, the Facebook group too.
Okay, so Chefs.
But when I wake up tomorrow morning, I will start spamming all of my notes into the Mixers Helping Mixers group.
Spam away.
Well, actually, just so you know, but I do have some of his
I'll tell you,
notes
that's
downloaded.
one spam everybody loves to have, Liam.
Absolutely.
Yes, I ain't complaining.
Nope.
Absolutely.
How you doing?
So, I have a theory that I've tested a couple times this week. And no, it's a good, it actually works. Right. So if you want to start your own recipe, if you go here, this is ELR, right? When you type in a flavor, let's put vanilla custard. Okay, and we're going to go to, we'll just use Capella's. Okay. Okay, it automatically fills in the average percentage.
Yeah, I did that in my video too. And if you look at my video that I put on YouTube, I pointed that out, that if they're not sure about what percentage to start at, it automatically puts the median average in the percentage box. Yeah.
Right. So if you want to make 3 flavors, say this, and let's say strawberry ripe. And I don't know, let's go. It don't work. Anyway, it's going to give you their average percentages. Now, it's probably not going to give you what you want right off the bat, but everything that I've done this with this week has been vapable for me. Okay? It's not something that I would release, but it's an ideal that I had where I could take just 3 flavors, throw them together, and it was vapable. Now, what this will do for everybody, right? You can make that, shake it up, let it steep. Keep in mind, creams and that need, 3 to 7 days, depending. Some creams need longer. You can find that in the notes. But it's an easy place to start, right? To be able to make something that you want to make. Now, when you taste it, you may say it needs more strawberry or there's too much custard in it, whatever, and then you can adjust those numbers that way. But it gives you an ideal of something that you can make that you should be able to vape when you make it.
It's a great starting point. It's a great starting point, and you're not going to be really far out. Like, you should not be very far out. So,
correct. If you're using all the flavors, you can do the same thing on there. When you go to all the flavors, if you go to your just to the flavors, okay, the flavors tab, all your flavors will come up. Out here to the side will be the average that they're used on this site. Okay. So the DLR is going to carry them over to your recipe for you, whereas all the flavors, you'll have to look them up and then input them yourself. But both sites do the same thing, and I think that that's a pretty good way to start. If you
it's brilliant.
You can't find a message that you can't find a recipe for.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very good starting point.
Yeah,
I
started
is a little high
when
on some things, but it's a good place to start.
Yeah, with the exception of Stalker, I think when all of us started, that option was not an option on.
Oh God, no! That's why Zippy. That's why Zippy used Fruit Fly Nanner at 15%. Don't use TFA Ripe Banana at 15%. Let me warn you.
That's a no-no.
Oh, Hugh, I can't even open the bottle anymore. I'd like to use some, but The
no to the Nana.
Fruit Fly Nanner.
For the new mixes, something I found out this week on ELR. When you're looking to buy some flavors, up the top of it, it's got there's a link. Hang on, let me find it so I can talk about it. What's it called? Resources. If you go down the flavor list and click on it, it gives you all the flavors, and then you click on recipes, and it sorts out. It tells you how many recipes each one's used in, and you can when it finally sorts it out, it gives you the top list of all the flavors that are used the most.
Yeah. Actually, ELR is a great website. It's got so many things that you can do. It's
he's sharing that at the moment.
I am.
Yeah, well, if you go over to where it says recipes, and no, go back a page.
Go back a page. Oh, recipes. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, click on that. And it'll come up like strawberry ripes used in 352,262 recipes. And that's a way to just work out what's used the most, and then you can go in and have a look and see what they're used in. I only found that this week.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I was mentoring somebody, and they weren't sure, for example, what strawberries to use. I said, look, go on ELR. Don't buy just one strawberry because, as everybody knows, you're going to layer strawberries. I said, find the top 3 strawberries that are used the most. I said, and get those and then test them, and you can compare whatever. But it's a good way also, if you don't know what flavors to get, like where to start, is to see what the most popular ones are.
Yeah,
In your profile of what you want to vape, of course, but
yeah. I think strawberry's one of the ones that I've got the most of.
that's probably the one I've got the least of.
I got so many strawberries. I just got in succulent strawberry.
Oh, you finally got it. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah,
then now that is a good strawberry. Yeah. I got all the raspberries.
Now, the question on that, they say a little bit of raspberry is good to boost the strawberry. What sort of...
Yes, it is. Now, for me, okay, this is just me. So if I was using strawberry ripe, I would put in raspberry sweet to kind of just a little bit, like 0.5, maybe 1% to go with the strawberry ripe. But that's just me. I'm not a huge strawberry fan because I'm not strawberry blind. I go strawberry, what do you call it? Strawberry mutes in my mouth very quick. So it's not that I don't like strawberry. I just, it gets flat real quick. But yeah, it depends on what strawberry you're going to put it with. So, but raspberry does help strawberry a lot, in my opinion.
Tammy, it's not working. We can still see.
Say what?
I said it. Tell John it didn't work. We could still see him.
Yeah, well, he had to show me pictures of the deer he saw tonight, but they weren't the right kind.
All I saw was a phone floating in.
He was out deer hunting, and he's like, "Baby, look at all the deer I saw," but they weren't. They were too little, or they were does, or I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. Anyway, he's looking for the 10-pointer. He killed the 8-pointer last weekend, but he's looking for a 10-pointer this weekend. So go get it.
Right? He's not going to find it in your mixing room, is he?
What?
He's not going to find it in your mixing room, is he?
Nope, not in here.
Okay.
Nope.
Devo, you got any advice for people that just want to make something on their own? They just want to try something out for themselves?
Yeah. You can start pretty simple. One good thing many people have said is just, you can grab a couple concentrates and you can smell them together under your nose. Mix them up. Use some recommended percentages on ELR. Perhaps you can go lower. Always start on the lower side of what the recommended percentage is, because if you feel that it needs to be bumped up, you can always do that. You can always add more, but if you add too much, you can't go backwards. You got to dump the whole thing. So I would say, start simple. Start off with a couple concentrates, maybe 2, maybe 3 at the most. See how they blend together, and just work off of it. Very, very simple, very easy, and work your way into it. Like I said, time and time again, and I've repeated this, and many others have, is you really got to understand and know your flavors. One of the great things I saw Hippie Vapes do today was the difference between a hard crack caramel and a soft crack caramel. So it really depends on the kind of profile or idea that you're shooting for, as far as like, are you looking for a hard type candy, or are you looking for that soft gooey caramel? It really does make a difference depending on what you're picking the concentrate for. That does help. And Hippie did a really great job on that video today. I thought that was absolutely awesome. But it's just a basic starter. Single flavor test. You can, like I said, you can smell a couple concentrates together, see what they smell like, see if that's pleasant. If it is, go ahead and mix it up. Mix it on the low side of what ELR recommends to make it easier for you to begin and start with. That way, if you feel like, okay, I've got maybe, a strawberry and maybe some chocolate or something, you're like, okay, well, I can taste the chocolate, but the strawberry's not good enough. Add a little more strawberry, taste it again. Just something really simple, basic, stripped down. You don't have to get overcomplicated. You don't have to go over the top. Watching a lot of the shows and everything that we do on the tubes and everything is a really great, handy tip for people to be able to learn how we mix and why we mix, why we're picking the concentrates that we're picking, to put into a profile. Is lots of handy tips and tricks and information. And I've seen a lot of new people going out there on Facebook and saying, hey, thanks. I've been watching all your guys' show. I've been watching and learning, and I'm seeing people buy up a batch of concentrates and everything, and it looks solid. It's like, yeah, you'll be using that over and over and over again, like your Bavarian creams, your vanilla swirl, things of that nature, your capped sugar cookie, your meringues, things like that. You just find yourself putting it into a lot of mixes, and especially with like meringue for a mouthfeel, you don't have to go high on the meringue. I've used it as low as 0.5 in a recipe to put mouthfeel, to get that mouthfeel, get that thick mouthfeel when you're vaping, things like that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just going to take time, and it's going to take patience. Moreover, anything, you just can't rush into it and expect, to pop off a banging recipe right off the bat. Unfortunately, it didn't work for me that way. A lot of other people, it didn't work for that. It worked for them that way. So the most key important thing you can take is be patient, experiment, and learn from your failures. Learn, okay, I put
Absolutely.
these things together and I know they don't work. So don't put that combination together again and expect it to work, right? I mean, try to learn from your mistakes. In ELR, I have a folder I created called Failed, and I keep a whole entire list. I've got like over 80 failed recipes that are sitting there. They just didn't work out. They didn't work out the way that I wanted them to. Now, eventually what I'll want to do is go back and rework the recipe with the knowledge I'll have gained through time. I'll be able to go back and look at it and scratch my head and go, what the hell was I doing? But
Right.
that's the reason why I keep it. Look, just because you guys mix failures, don't trash the recipe, all right? Keep it, hang on to it. And then as you gain experience, go back and look at it and see if there's a way that you can improve it and better it.
And don't let it deter you, because even people like myself that have been mixing for a long time still make Drano. Lots.
Absolutely.
Every recipe, I can know all my flavors and I can still make Drano. So do not let it, it can be fixed. If you're frustrated, put it aside. Like Steve-O says, go back to it later and you can fix it, or it just might not be fixable.
Yeah, and I mean, you could be working on something else that doesn't work in that mix, and you remember something that you were working on 2 months ago, and you go put it in that mix.
Exactly. Exactly.
I like when we put this Mixers Helping Mixers thing together. ID10T Dave, and if you read his little newspaper segment, part of it in there, we asked him, why are you willing to help others, or why do you like helping others? And he said that it was selfish, because you never know, the person that you help today is going to be the person that's going to teach you something tomorrow that you had no idea would work. And yep. I think it's great. I mean, just like who was it in chat asking about the sweet strawberry or the raspberry sweet in the strawberry, Dennis J. That's something that somebody figured out, Somebody figured out if you put a little raspberry with your strawberry that it makes it deeper, that it helps it.
I had that exact example, what you're talking about now. I'll mention his name. and lots of people know him, Luke. Now,
Awesome guy.
Yes, and you know something? I knew him when he started mixing. Well, he pointed out something to me the other day that I never thought of, and I can't remember. I made a note of it, but I'm old and I forget shit. Of putting something with chocolate, and it never even occurred to me. Oh, I know what it was. It was liquid amber with chocolate. Now that sounds like freaky, but he came up with this. I thought, damn, I got to try that. And there's a guy that I actually saw when he started mixing, and he's teaching me something.
Right. Yeah. You just never know. I mean, on the strawberry kick, there's a lot of things that you can add to strawberries and lots of fruits to help them out. The raspberry sweet TFA dragon fruit, really good.
Cactus.
So I went and mixed up. Well, I wanted to follow up something on my jacked up grate and do a little something different with it. So this time I went with the good old Inawera cherries. And
that might be good.
Nice.
To back it up,
one of the best cherries out there.
Yes, and to back that up, if people don't know, a little bit of citrus in behind that cherry will help boost that cherry flavoring. A little bit of lemon express or flavor.
Oh, lemon.
Flavor Express lemon. Sorry, Flavor Express lemon, the rebranded range from good old chefs there. And of course the TPA jackfruit that I love, and I tossed a little super sweet into it. Kept super sweet. So I just did another little simple one. I gotta say right off the shake, yum. So that's good. I want to let it steep a little bit more and see how it develops, see what happens before I release it. But that was just a simple little mix. But you learn the tips and tricks along the way, about dragon fruit boosting or brightening strawberries, as one of the examples, and lemon, a citrus that will boost cherry. And there's so many other tips and tricks and things that boost each other, like caramel and butterscotch are like married. I mean, those things, they just work together. Like when you're doing like the butterscotch ripple by Flavor West and throwing a little bit of caramel in there.
Those two, caramel and butterscotch make each other pop. Depends on which one you're using as the main one. But yeah, those two go like a sandwich.
Absolutely. And I guess after a while, you start learning from everyone and what they're using, and you learn different techniques and things of that nature. And eventually things start making sense. But the key part of it is patience, research. You need to know. Liam's notes are awesome. That's how I started when I got back into the game over a year ago now into mixing. I was looking at what Liam was saying, and then I was single flavor testing it to see if I'm picking up the same nuances and things that he's getting. And of course, taste is subjective. You won't always get that, but it gave me an awesome reference to make a decision as to how I was going to build a recipe. So that helped out a lot. Massive and major props to TAM Vapes over there. She was my mentor, coming back into mixing and everything, and she's helped me more than anything in the world. And I just wanted to say thank you, Tam, and I appreciate you and love you.
Well, out of curiosity, on the panel, who was your mentor? So, Steve-O, you're saying Tam. Tam. Okay, Mike, who is your mentor?
I probably learned a lot from Fresh, to be honest, just watching him. Then when I started doing shows, I learned a lot from a bunch of people. I mean, Tammy, Liam, even Simon. He's had some stuff. Just watching shows, you pick out some stuff.
My biggest, my most influential mentor would have to be the fairy.
Oh, nice.
Jennifer Winstead.
This may even surprise you, but I even learned a few things from Graham.
I'm learning things from Tammy.
Absolutely.
Oh, I can tell you what to buy and what not to buy. That's for dang sure.
No, I pay attention to what you're mixing together there, sweetie.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got a lot of Tam's recipes to mix up now. I got this order in because I went through most of her recipes on ATF, and that's how I decided a lot of my flavors, and a lot of them were Flavora. So that collection's just grown a heap.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with some Flavora. You really can't. And it's interesting because that is one of the first, well, besides my initial, TFA, Flavor West, Capella, and then I had some Flavor Art, like the very first line that I really started getting into was Flavora. And I just went crazy with it. And it was just like, and it's a little bit pricier than some of the other lines. So it's almost like, oh my gosh, I can't afford to buy these flavors, but they last forever if you use them correctly. Like you're not going to use as much.
And you don't have to buy all at once either. I mean,
no, right. That's what I was going to say.
Right.
I would buy like every other week or so. I would buy like 2 or 3 new ones, and add to it like that. So I would build my collection.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you do. My biggest line, I think, would have to be Real Flavors.
But I have to throw in Wayne Walker right here because we're talking about mentors. I have to say, I absolutely learned a great deal from him.
Wayne was the first one I seen.
Whether, we all like love his mixes or not love his mixes, I absolutely, if you watch my style of mixing, and it's greatly influenced from Wayne, greatly influenced. I learned a lot from him, and I didn't like come on fresh. I don't know how I missed him in the whole beginning. I just didn't know about him until much later in my mixing.
I didn't either. I don't know where he was.
But he has influenced me since then. But also Hippie Vapes. He was there.
That guy's a good mixer.
A lot.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, Hippie. Yeah. I get up at 4 in the morning to catch him live.
So
Hippie
Liam,
Vapes. I was going to say, Hippie Vapes is the whole reason why I started a channel.
Oh, wow.
He's cool. He's cool.
I have told Tony that just anytime that you see him, right, he's always having
He's so happy.
He's always smiling. He's always upbeat. And I got to thinking that's how I feel when I'm mixing. I enjoy it. I get out of my head. And so I wanted to share that. Now, I haven't the antics that Hippie gets into, but maybe someday.
So Liam, who was your mentor?
It wasn't just one person. It was the
but who was the most influential?
It would be between either Creed, Kevin Reed, or Claire Collins, 2 UK mixers.
Yeah, Claire.
Admin of the first vape group on Facebook that I actually joined. So I didn't know that there were YouTube channels or anything like that out there. So I saw a mixing group, joined that, and the admin from there greatly helped me and influenced me when I first started mixing. And then I stumbled across the DIY e-juice subreddit, and then found the gems like ID10T, Copal.
Copal. Oh, now there's one. Yeah, Copal.
Chemist. How how can I not say chemist? He got me into a love affair, and I say that loosely, or with RY4 double. That was all chemist. So, because he had all these recipes with RY4 double.
And I guess as far as a mentor though, I'm kind of thinking of someone that I was able to go to ask questions and get help and talk about things. And Tam and I got to talk a lot and chat and everything, and she really helped me out a lot.
I've never had many people like that.
I talk to Fairy a lot.
Yeah, if we're going for people
sorry.
that you actually talk to, then it would definitely be the admins for the VHM group.
That's what I was thinking about as far as a mentor, somebody that you work with, that you get to communicate with regularly and work with and everything that helps you as far as a mentor. But I mean, I agree with all the shows and everything out there, you know. Wayne, I stumbled on Wayne first, and shortly after that, then I found out about Fresh afterwards. So yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely great shows and great people to learn lots of stuff off. When I was thinking of mentor, I was more thinking of somebody that you got to communicate with on a regular basis. And
Yeah.
I mean, the other guys were more research for me, just reading through all the posts and everything else that they put up.
Yeah.
But talking about Wayne Walker, I actually stumbled across a guy called Enya Reclaw on the DIY Edu subreddit.
Mm-hmm.
And it never even clicked into my mind that was Wayne Walker.
Me either.
Isn't that funny?
I was going to say,
I didn't put the connection together. It wasn't
how
until a
long
later
is-
video.
He's got so many names. He's got so many names.
It wasn't
CK
until a
Chemist
later
on
video that
ELR.
he said that what his brand was, or his name, whatever username, mixer name was. Then I got it, but I didn't realize it.
Absolutely. Me neither. For anybody interested, I don't want to get off this mentor thing because I got something else that I want to say, but in the chat, Simon put out a link for some flavor bending notes.
Oh,
Do I need a wrench?
So the link is out there.
I'm teasing.
Crowbar?
Crowbar?
Things like thanks to add to strawberries, thanks to cherries, blueberries, pears, coconut, white chocolate, dragon fruit, just all kinds of notes here. So if you're curious about stuff like that, the link is in the chat. I will go back and put it in the description also so people can find it. And in the face group book, I will put it in there also.
Cool. Yeah. I got it. Ha ha ha. Something else I can save. I'm gonna print it out.
And then later on in the mixing, the other mentor that I have is Simon himself. I mean,
Simon, absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He really helped me out a lot as far as, you know, talking about your citric acids, your malic acids, and how to use other ingredients and things to enhance your mixes, and really, really extremely knowledgeable. Thank you.
Yeah, if you want to really deep dive into the DIY, Simon is the guy to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just hooked up with Simon. He's agreed to help me out.
Yeah, as you say, Tam, can't forget my boy.
Yeah, I know. He's not my boy.
No,
well, he is. He's my brother.
There you go, my brother. My brother from another mother.
But Nick is my boy. Poor Nick Evans. He's my boy. I always have to look out for him.
Simon's my brother.
Pick on him and look out for him. Yeah. I'll say, don't talk about my boy. He's my boy. But I can talk about him. It's fine. But Simon is an amazing mixer. And I'm telling you, he has some mixes that I'll look at and go, no, I won't vape that. And then I'll mix it, and oh my gosh, it's just amazing. He does some wicked stuff. Voodoo. Witchcraft.
Steve-O, damn you still.
But I did a class, like, I don't know what it was called, Mixing 202 with Wayne. And if you watch some of his content, he has some valuable information. And when you first start, you may be like, I don't know what he's talking about. It's like, and when I took his mixing 202, I thought, oh, I know what I'm doing. I've got flavors. I've been mixing for 6 months, and but then when I took his class, I was like, oh, I wrote down word for word every freaking thing he said, and didn't understand a word of it. Well, I mean, I understood it, but it didn't click until like maybe a year later or so, like layering, like making layering in your recipe, the note, all of those things. So I encourage, until you really understand all of those things, to understand and learn that stuff, to mix other people's recipes and take them and maybe make them your own, like rearrange them, like change fruits out or bakeries out in them, and to understand how things work instead of just trying to like, oh, I'm going to dive deep and like just mix my own stuff like straight off the bat. Learn your flavors first. And I know single flavor testing is no freaking fun, but
no, it's not.
I think one of the most prolific and greatest things I've ever seen is Fresh's quick custard. You can throw any fruits at that stuff.
Yep.
It is just absolutely phenomenal combination that he managed to pull out with the liquid barn ice cream and the Flavora vanilla pudding at 0.5%. That is just astounding. You can throw anything you want at it. You can go. Sorry, Zippy, go ahead.
Oh well, my next next Sunday I got Fresh's custard with a combination of something coming out next Sunday.
Oh, cool. So who's the best mixer, Wolf Tam or Simon? Which one?
Both are the same.
The doggo seems to think it's Wolf Tam is a better mixer than Simon.
Yeah, I think Wolf Tam is. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's funny for doggo. That's funny.
Yeah, that custard. Even if you read Fresh's notes under that recipe, he said if he's going to be famous for anything, it's going to be for his quickie custard.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's used everywhere now.
Yeah, and Addie and his yogurt.
Yeah, Addie's yogurt. Yeah.
Actually, I went shopping just for those flavors. I was missing the, I think it's a kiwi. So I had to do an order to a shop in Australia for it, $100 order, just to get that one flavor. So I wasn't paying shipping.
Yeah, I keep doing that. Simon got me to buy hard crack toffee. It cost me $50.
I just got that in too. Thank you to Chef for their super sale they had on last month.
Yes, I did, because I couldn't see spending $12 shipping on one flavor.
Here.
So of course, not only did I buy the hard crack toffee, I had to buy some other VTA stuff.
Well,
in Australia, we got to spend $100 to get free shipping. So we've got a thing here where we can buy it and pay it off on ZipPay or Afterpay. So it's just divided up into 4 payments. So I just spent $100 just so I could get that kiwi.
Well, we here it's $100 here. It's basically about $99, but there's no payment plan.
Yeah, that's how I get. Well, that's what I was going to say. We talked about with Tammy, not that you didn't have to buy them all the time. I'm a truck driver, okay? I get paid when people paid shipping. That's how I make my money. But as a truck driver, I don't pay shipping. So when I order, right, I reorder what I'm out of or running low of. And then that's how I get new flavors. I buy up to the free shipping, and
that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do. I get my refills. I throw in a couple little goodies for myself just so I can get the free shipping.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I appreciate that.
Stalker, that way also prevents you from having 600 flavors that you need to single flavor test.
Yeah, it does.
No. It's the people like Tammy that keep making good recipes, and I don't have the flavors,
And
so then I have to order more shit.
And then you have places like Chef that put on big specials, and
I didn't buy a damn thing
they only
for no
pay
sale.
charge £20 to get to Australia. So you got to order fit as many in the basket as you can to make it worthwhile, which is about 56 bottles.
I managed to stay out of the sales this week. On the Halloween sales, I managed to stay out. Don't ask me how, but I did.
Chef's
But I had to buy some lemon.
October sale copped me big time. I think I did £300.
I had a pretty big order at Chef and decided not to push that button.
Uh-uh.
I've got a cart. I've got a cart sitting at Sasami. I can't hit the button.
I just go to Num Nums and see what they have.
Actually, Rainbow Vapes,
Wow.
the thing's got a lot of sesame on special, £99, and their shipping to Australia was within a week. They were really fast. They beat Chef's order, which was a week and a half earlier.
Rainbow?
Yeah, Rainbow Vapes. I think it's sesame they got on cheap.
I like Stalker's name for num noms, num nuts.
Yeah, I call them num nuts.
Well, the sad thing for me is that when we were talking about mentors, I have a mentor and also a mental abuser with Roger.
Oh, I was thinking of Roger. Yes, I thought of Roger.
And Roger,
because that's why I have this whole wall over here of. Never mind. I was going to say a bad word.
Oh no, sorry.
Well, I don't know what the fuck it is.
We know what it is.
Fennel.
Yes, Roger.
You're Roger Wall.
And that guy. Yes. I'm going to have to get another shelf for the Roger.
Simon will do it too.
I know. I have a few people that get me every time. That's Roger, Liam, Luigi, those three.
How about Aaron Cazzola?
And you. Luigi, yes, Luigi.
Oh, okay.
If you see me talking about Luigi, that's Aaron.
That's Aaron Cazzola,
yeah, that's Luigi.
Okay.
And Tam.
Yeah, Tam would be my worst.
And thank you, Sugar Plum. Yes, Black Friday is just around the corner.
Oh, no, come on.
Oh, don't say that.
3.5 weeks.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of going to Nick River to get. They got some in their discontinued line I want to get, and I was thinking of getting a couple of medicine flower when they have a sale on, because I only buy when there is on sale.
All right. Does anybody in the chat, if y'all have any questions as a new mixer or whatever, just if y'all got any questions, tag somebody on the panel in it so we can see it.
Yeah, hit us up.
The one biggest tip I'd say that I haven't heard anybody mention is before you actually mix your very first recipe, your own one, is to make sure you've either found a recipe that you really enjoy from somebody else, or a one shot that you really enjoy, so you've actually got something to vape while you're messing around with your new flavors. Because that was one of the mistakes I made, was I didn't have anything to vape, but I was mixing up making up new mixes, and then I still didn't have anything to vape because some of those new mixes were absolutely terrible.
That's where the fruit fly nanner came.
I did tons of research before I bought my first flavors.
I was still doing commercial when I first started mixing that way. I still had something vapeable, something good to vape while I was doing my own mixes.
I did the same thing.
One of the other good things with the single flavor testing is you never know. You might actually find a flavor that you really enjoy, single flavor. So
Very
you've always
true.
got that. You've always got that to vape as well, while you're messing around with your other flavors.
All right,
And there
yes.
is nothing wrong with just putting one flavor in a mix. Nothing wrong with that
Well,
at all.
Well, and
I love
that's
TFI banana nut bread was it for me, 10%.
I like that. That's funny you say TFA's Foster's banana was for me.
you know, and that's something else that we can touch on a bit too. People talk about single flavor testing is boring, it's mundane, or whatever that they want to say about it. But in the end, that's the best way to learn how to use your flavors. You can have all the flavors in the world, and if you just stare at them and you never taste them, you never know what they can do. So don't try to do all your flavors at once, stalker.
Suggestion is when you buy flavors,
Hell no.
don't buy a whole whack. And then because what happens is you get so many that it's overwhelming.
Yeah,
You get a few flavors, test them right away.
Absolutely.
Away. Yes, I know.
Now,
been there, done that.
Now, there was a question from Fidalgo that I don't know if we addressed it or not, but we can go back to it and I'll add a little bit to it. It was specifically asked to Steve, how do you determine when a recipe has failed? Like when there's no point in working on it anymore. How do you make that determination? And I'll add to it for everybody else in the chat. How do you determine when a recipe's done? Like when it's not going to get any better?
Right. So what I like to do is I like to shake and vape, okay, because it gives me an idea of where that flavor's at when I shake it and vape it. Then I like to try it again at 5 days, 7 days, and then a couple weeks out. If I taste it and it's not great, I'll let it steep for about a week or two. And if it's still not good at that point, then I'll let it go. I'll count it as failed. I'm not getting what I wanted out of it. It doesn't taste the way that I wanted it to. Then I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. I'll move on to the next thing, but I'll at least give it a chance, So even if I don't like it off the shake, I'll let it steep out a few weeks to a month maximum, and then go back to it and then test it again and see how it is. And I think it's usually for me at that 1 month mark, that if it's hit that point and I still don't enjoy it and it doesn't taste great, I'll let it go.
Okay. How about Leah? When do you just give up on a recipe?
Same as Steve. Basically, I'll leave a recipe for a month to steep. If it still doesn't taste great after a month, then it gets marked up as a fail. But I will only bin the recipe off completely if, when I'm tasting it, I can't actually see where I've possibly gone wrong. So I can't see anywhere to tweak. Because I won't actually tweak the whole lot at once. I'll just tweak one flavor, leave it sit for a little bit longer, and then just keep tweaking one flavor at a time. Because if you try and tweak everything at once, you still don't know where you may have gone wrong or where you might have gone right with the recipe. But yeah, that's when I'll actually bin a recipe off completely. I had one that it was an apple and pear recipe that I was working on, and it tasted like straight up potato. So I just, that recipe was just, no, I'm not even going to bother trying to tweak that, because I have no idea what flavor has gone wrong in that one, what one isn't working. So that was just completely binned off, and then started fresh again with different flavors.
Right. I know when I first started mixing, I wanted to use like a ton of concentrates for whatever reason. I just thought that I had to use a lot of concentrates, a lot of different concentrates. So, Tammy, how do you determine when a recipe's done? Like when you're finally when you're finally happy with it and you're like, I can't make this any better?
It's just a puzzle in my head.
That's fair enough.
It's hard to say. It's like an artist, and I don't want to put it on that level, really. But
it is. I mean, it is a form of art.
Yeah,
this is an art. This is an art.
It's like anything when you make something, you want this creaminess, or you want the bakery, you want the fruitiness, whatever you want, and you have those elements that you've added, and if it's there, if it's working, and those are the things you've added, and it's those pieces are working, and you let it do, and it did its job, it's done, whatever. But if you need to tweak it, you need to find out which layer is it that's mucking it up. Was it my base? Was it the accent? Was it, where I'm going with that? I mean, like,
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I got to the point where if I'm vaping something I've made, and I think, and I get this ideal, like, oh, vanilla would be good in there, or this would be good in there. If I add it in there and it's not any better, then I know I'm done at that point. No, if it's not like remarkably better. Zippy, I'm glad that you're addressing that, because I had something funny I was going to say.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to post his recipe here. So.
Yeah, no, I was going to make a comment, but I was going to have to preface it with, I mean this as a funny. Who the hell was talking about a cookie custard, and can this please get a link? He asked it a couple times and nobody responded. So,
also another thing on testing the recipes, I found they taste different at different wattages.
Yes.
Yeah, and in different RDAs.
Yes.
Yep. Just change your drip tip and
absolutely, drip tips make a difference.
Yep. There's so many little variables that can change the taste of your juice that.
Yeah, on the blottos, I've changed them all to recurve tips. I just love the recurve tip because I test on recurve RDAs, and I just mainly use the recurve tips now on everything.
I like a 510. I'm just a 510.
A single coil rebirth for me.
That big fat.
Liam, you do a lot of testing. What do you test on?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I test on a Bonza dual coil.
Wow.
I actually test at a higher wattage than I vape all day. I actually vape all day at 50 watts on a single coil. But when I flavor test, I vape at 100 watts on a dual coil, because I've found, for me, especially with the Bonza, it actually, with that higher wattage, it actually allows me to pick out a lot more notes than I would get from a lower wattage RDA. And I tend to use the more exotic wire types as well. I normally run in fused Claptons.
And all that makes a difference, what kind of coils you use and the wattage and everything. It does.
Yeah, especially coils, because there's a big difference from normal round coils to like your staple staggered fused Claptons and things like that, because they've got more surface area, so they vaporize more juice, so you actually get more flavor. But at least that's what I found anyway.
I personally, because my buds are very funny, is that I try not to change a thing, because if I change something, then it changes everything that I would have probably tasted, may not taste so good now. So I myself don't change anything. Like I stay exactly the same.
All right. Well, it's 8:30. Well, past 8:30. Everybody, daytime Frank is doing a show tonight, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So 30 minutes. Link to his channel is in the description. Link to Tammy's channel is in the description. Link to Steve's channel in the description.
Thank you.
Zip. I need to remember to add yours in there now.
Cool.
I'll do that. I will ask you one question, Zippy, because you've been doing this for a while. How do you determine when your recipe's done?
Okay, well, I'm probably a little stranger than most because, as most people, yes, I am strange. As most people know, I'm the sweet tooth. I'm the bakery. I'm not a big fruit fan. So when I create a recipe, I'm different, and nobody shoot me down. I don't test off the shake because I already know kind of that it's not going to taste anything like what it's going to taste in 2 weeks. I always wait. I make my recipe. I might make, now this is what I might do for the most part. I'll make 3 versions of the same recipe at different percentages. I put them away for 2 weeks. I pull them out, I test them all, and I decide, okay, which one's the closest to the profile that I wanted to hit. And if it needs a tweaking, my mind thinks of the first thing I taste. If that's not what I wanted to taste, then I will, whatever I'm tasting, I will lower that a little bit. So I will make another new recipe, and my testing goes on forever. So I leave it now for another 2 weeks because for me, as everybody knows, I'm a chocolate freak. Chocolates are not shake and vape. So that's kind of mine is more long drawn out testing than most people.
Absolutely. Tammy.
Here.
Where can people
sure?
find you, dear?
I'm not sure of anything, but I'm here right now physically. I ordered pizza and I think it's ready, so he's got to go pick it up like right now.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Well, I'm right here. So
You found me
in the dining room eating pizza.
Yeah. TAM Vape, CLR on all the flavors, and on this other place, I always say the name wrong, Vaping, wherever that Simon shared. Why do I always say the wrong name of that place? Whatever, that recipe place, TAM Vapes. And on Instagram, and TAM on whatever, you know.
Discord.
So are you saying if they're curious, look for TAM Vapes, they'll find you?
If you just look for TAM Vapes, you'll find me. Just
yeah. She's everywhere.
Everywhere. She's everywhere.
Tammy's
everywhere.
Homegrown.
Oh yeah. Oh. See, Mike, that's why I keep you around.
That place.
Oh, you have me around. I don't have you around here. You have me around right now.
Where we find you at, Steve?
Yeah, so down the rabbit hole mixing with Aaron, the vaping lizard. Yeah, so basically times are kind of changing, so we'll update the info and put that up onto the YouTube as the banner and everything, our start times and everything, because times are changing in the US this weekend. So yeah, it's going to throw things around a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it'll be 9 p.m. on Thursdays. So since you guys are falling behind an hour, Instead of 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it'll be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursday nights. And yeah, you find me hanging out here with the Vaping Trucker and friends. Sometimes I hang out with TAM, and sometimes I hang out with Frank. So find me as Steve-O on ELR. So yeah, that's pretty much about it.
And I'm Zippy on ELR.
You're Zippy on ELR?
I'm Zippy on ELR.
You got a channel?
Laura's, yes. I'll see just a second. Maybe I can put a link up here. I'll see if I can put a link.
Why did I not get an email?
Graham made a valid point.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay.
While she's working on a link, how about you, Stalker?
Oh, you can catch me here. It's about the only YouTube show I got. I'm on Discord and Facebook. But yeah, that's about me. I don't do a hell of a lot.
Gotcha. And Liam, man, thanks for coming on.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me on. And I'm Sheerluck Ohms. That's Sheerluck _Ohms on ELR. You can find me in most of the DIY mixing Facebook groups.
He's everywhere too, along with Tam.
I gate crash Homegrown Alchemy every now and again.
Yeah, he's an Omi on Homegrown Alchemy. He is an
Omigo. He's an Omigo.
No, Monday night is Omigo. Monday night is Omigos.
Okay.
The show with Nick, we're Omis.
Omis. Okay, I'm confused.
The real deal of DIY.
Okay, the real deal. Okay, I got you.
I'm also a member of the Fog Vlog team, so I pop up on their channel every now and again with flavor notes and anything else they're working on, and I'd be more than happy to pop on this show whenever I can as well. Whenever you want me on, Mike.
Well, anytime, Bub. You're always welcome. If you've got time available, just let me or Steve know, and we'll send you a link. That's for sure.
No worries.
Great having you. All right, y'all. Well, that's another one in the books, I guess. Everybody in chat, thanks for watching. We do this show for you, so appreciate that. And again, thanks to everybody on the panel coming on. And as always, y'all, safe, keep on trucking, keep on vaping.